My name is Moon Wolfman Waters, and I'm here to share my experiences with you from the dark side of the world. All of the things you see, but you can't see from underneath the moon. The shadows, the abnormal, the paranormal. These experiences were firsthand from me and my friends, and these are our chronicles from underneath the moon. Hello. Welcome in. I hope your night is going well, my friends. I have a story for you. Now, I wasn't always this dark and terrifying. But there's things that change you through your experiences in life. And well, while I am a man of strength, truth, honor, and faith, there are some things in this world that test those qualities in a man, and they make you question your own thoughts. Now, this world we live in is large, wide, and vast. And I don't want to keep you any longer, because I know you're here for the stories. But being the one who experienced the stories, I must stress to you with the highest amount of worry. Do not go out looking for these creatures in tonight's story. For you yourself could cease to exist, and there would be no more stories. You would just end up dinner. But let's begin with the story of the Wolf of HERRIN, Illinois. It was an average night, much like the night that is now in process. The moon above, the sky beautiful, and the world spins on. As a child, you don't think of evil things in the world, but they're real. And all it takes is a knock on your window in the middle of the night to send chills down your spine and send you running to your parents' room. The noise is coming from outside. You see a shadow and a picture, a silhouette of what you think to be your friends, because your friends come knock on your windows sometimes to play flashlight tag. But you feel different this time. And the shape of the silhouette in the window, well, doesn't look like your friends at all. You're about 9 years old yourself, or 10, and your friends can barely reach over the window sill. Whoever is knocking on the window tonight is much larger and is standing above the locks of the window. So that would make them anywhere between 7 to 7.5 feet tall. But that's impossible because, well, nobody's that tall. Maybe it's your friends playing a prank, sitting on each other's shoulders. You know how boys are. You always want to scare your friends. But then you hear it. A slow, soft whistle right after another paralyzingly strong knock on your window. Your skin clenches. Your mind wanders. And if you were like me, the fact that you would wake your parents up, that could be a worse option for something that could just be in your imagination. So what do? Do you go to the window and answer? Or do you go wake your parents up and risk getting punished? Because in this day and time, you could be punished physically, we'll say, for doing the wrong thing if your parents thought you were misbehaving. So, that, to me, was out of the options. I wasn't going to get my butt swatted because I thought I saw something at the window that could be my friends still playing a trick on me. But then you hear it again. And you think to yourself, is this sort of a code we used to have with each other, and I'm just not remembering it? Then the scratches begin. Outside of your window. And now you have to face it. You have to know. Because before you were paralyzed with fear, now you are stunted with curiosity. And what do they say? Sometimes curiosity kills the cat. Or sometimes it leads you down a path you wish you had never taken. And I will tell you right now, my friends, I wish I would have never taken the path I took. Me thinking it was my friends playing a trick on me, because I seen flashlights moving in the background, then heard kids screaming and running away. I just imagined, well, it's obvious. My friends are playing a joke. And they just want me to be scared. And there's one thing growing up you never wanted to be in my generation, and that was a coward. So, from the thin veneer of the clouds from underneath the moon, a blue light shined through my dark window. It was the only light that was leaking into the room. And it was almost at this moment where you could see outside, perfectly clear. My eyes had adjusted to the dark. I slid open the curtains to no longer see a figure outside of my window. It had vanished, like a thief in the night. But the moon shined brightly. I was foolish, because this moment is when I saw it. It rose up from under my windowsill with bright yellow eyes and ears that looked like a dog. And it had a head on it, much like a dog, but way larger, and fangs that were dripping with saliva, almost waiting for me to open the window. Its eyes pierced my very soul as I stood in panic. It looked at me, and I'll never forget what it did. It put its lips together. It said my name, and it whistled. And it ran off into the night. Now at this point, I had become so terrified. I made sure the windows were locked. I closed the curtains. I ran into my parents' room for fear of waking my father, for the abuse that may come for waking him during the night, because he worked 12 to 15 hours. I did not want to be paddled, for the imagination that could be running wild in my head. I watched scary movies. I had friends who told tall tales. But seeing this for myself was evidence enough. I laid at the foot of my parents' bed, waiting for the sun to come up. It was a long 3 hours. Scratches all around the house, whistles, howling in the distance, and every once in a while, I could hear it say my name.
Michael, I know you're in there.
Now, the next day had come and gone. It was a weekend. And I asked all of my friends. Of course I would. I'd be stupid not to. We were close. Like I said, at nighttime we played flashlight tag. And I wanted to know the truth. Were you guys playing a prank on me? Because whatever you did, you scared me good enough. And I don't even want to pay you back. I just want to be done with it. They laughed and looked at me directly. What are you talking about, man? We didn't scare you. We've all been in bed for the previous 2 nights. And then also, Jeremy and Brett and Ryan and I, we were all camping. So we weren't even here for the first night. We just got back this morning. A chill ran down my spine, again, for the second time. Because this meant whatever that was very real. Determined to find out what this was, I asked my dad if there was any local creatures in the area that he had ever seen growing up. Because my father was a fisherman, and he has told me plenty of wild stories of seeing creatures come to his area of the lake where he's had fish tied up waiting for him, because he would fish in several different spots. And I remember a story of him telling me that he seen the silhouette of a large creature that came to the side of his fishing dock. And when he got there, the moon had just become out full, and it was growling, and fish were flying everywhere. My father didn't approach it. Being the hunter and fisherman he was, he always kept his rifle and truck close to the areas where he was fishing. And of course, he had a legal license, so... It was on that night he stated to me, "Michael, I'll never forget it. It's one of the most frightening things in my life. It turned to me and looked at me with its cold eyes, almost like a warning. Don't come near me. This is my dinner tonight. And if you do come near me, you could be next. I thought to myself, creatures like this exist in the world. My dad had all but solidified it. And that was it for me. I knew I needed to find this creature. So, I had some friends stay with me. And of course, we played flashlight tag. But on one particular night, it was the biggest mistake we would ever make. We set up like usual. We all snuck out of our houses around midnight and met up in what was pretty much my backyard. As I previously mentioned, this is why I thought that it was my friends playing a trick on me, because of how often we had frequented my side yard as a place for meetings. We loved flashlight tag, and there were several of us, anywhere from 7 to 10 people sometimes a night, children, enjoying breaking the rules and spending time with their friends. But it was this night that we all saw what we know as the Wolfman of HERRIN, Illinois. We began like any other night. We picked our hiding spots, and of course, Jeremy was the first to be it. And if you have never played flashlight tag, well, you hide. And the person with the flashlight, if they tag you with the flashlight, you help them. And then you just get the other people and find them. And if one of the people is never found, well, then that person wins. But it was on this night that the rules had changed. And I wish we had never went out that night, because I think about it every time this year in the cool October nights. We started to hide. Jeremy looked for us, called out to us. Mikey, Brian, Brett, Nicholas, I know you guys are there. We all hid in one spot together. Well, because I had told them the stories. We just hid in my garage and looked out the window. What we saw next was one of the scariest things that has ever happened to me in front of my own eyes, in real life, directly outside of the garage. We could see Jeremy in the field. We could see the light wave back and forth, and hearing him shouting funny things. Come on out, guys. I got Rice Krispie treats. I'll give you half if you just come out. I don't want to play much tonight. I got Super Mario 3 at home waiting. We were all nerds. We loved our video games. We usually cut our flashlight tag night short to play video games together. Stay the night at one person's house. But it was at this point that we saw a giant figure run out from under a willow tree that was under my backyard. How did we not see it? It was so fast. Jeremy stood no chance. All we seen was him in the middle of the field, and the next thing you know, he's gone. flashlight in the field, on the fence of the neighbors, shining brightly. No screams. No Jeremy. Now, of course, like idiots, we panicked and ran out looking for our friend. Mistake number 2. I feel like it set a trap for us. Well, more particularly, it set a trap for me. Whatever this creature was, it was smart. And it was thinking how to get its nasty claws all over me. I see Jeremy running to his house, and this thing appears from behind the neighbor's house and looks directly at me and charges. With all my strength, I call and try to yell to the other boys, but nothing comes out. I don't know if you've ever had dreams where you're fighting something or trying to yell for help, and it feels like you're in slow motion. And in that moment, that's exactly what it felt like. So powerless, so helpless. And as this thing charged towards me, I felt weight. Unimaginable weight. Like I was not able to move. I could hear its footsteps getting closer. As I tried to panic, I tried to yell, waving my hands, my friends laughing at me. What are you doing? Why'd you drop your flashlight? I couldn't mutter anything out of my mouth. I tried to scream, but no sound would come out. And then they saw it. And they didn't even say anything to each other. They all looked at each other and ran towards the direction that Jeremy had to be running. Towards Ryan's house. Without a second thought, I joined the group and ran with them. This thing bared down on us. Keep in mind, it was a good 300 to 400 yards from us, maybe. When it first saw me, it was within 100 yards of us within 5 seconds. It was fast and smart. So I told the group, hey, we need to make a decoy or we're not all gonna make it. We have to go separate ways. I know it's scary, but we have to if you want to live. Just then, we hear the scratches from around the surrounding fence we're hiding on. The wood crackled. The moon shined brightly over ahead of us, and Brett, without a second thought, took off running and screaming. And you heard the creature run around the fence. It's like he saw him, but wasn't interested in it. And Ryan took off in a different diagonal way, running back and forth, like he was being shot at, zigging and zagging. The creature chased, but to no avail. Then there was two, me and my other friend. And my friend was so petrified, he couldn't make any noise. He had pissed himself completely. I told him, look, just come with me and let's go over here. I'll push you up over the fence and we can hide back here. There's no way this thing can get in this fence. If If we just get here to knock on the neighbor's house and get them inside and call the cops, everything will be fine. It was too late. This thing had rounded the corner and was directly behind us. I could see the stool falling from its chin, its fangs dripping with saliva, waiting for its chance to pounce. I grabbed my friend. We ran. Directly behind us, you hear it. Crashing its feet. We door open. Our friend Ryan screaming, "Run! Hurry!" We jetted in the door. He shut it. Locked the door. We had made it. Whatever this was, it wanted all of us now. Of course, after our experience, we didn't sleep. We all sat up in the front room, shaking, trying to drink Nesquik to calm our nerves, or Kool-Aid Man, or Capri Suns, or Tang. We all love different things to calm ourselves down. But we couldn't calm down. We stayed awake till the next morning. Walked outside and took pictures of the tracks with a Polaroid and tried to explain to our parents what had happened, what we had saw. They thought we were making it up. It was near Halloween. But then it was right after that, we realized Jeremy wasn't in the house with us. We went to Jeremy's house, knocked on the door, to hear Jeremy's father say, "Well, hello, kids. If you're looking for Jeremy, we haven't seen him since last night. We thought he was with all of you. He usually leaves us a note on the table stating that he's going to be gone for a while. And he left us a note saying that he was going to play flashlight tag with all of you like he usually does. And that if he had slept in, not to wake him, because he had been up all night with his friends." Jeremy didn't make it home. In fact, a week later, Jeremy didn't make it home. 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, a month had passed. We never saw our friend Jeremy again. But we did see his clothes, ripped to shreds, and his glasses broken in the mud, with dark stains all around the ditch, where it looked like he had been dragged. And eaten alive. Now I take pause and no pleasure in telling you this story, because it's from our own personal experiences. We never seen our friend again. We never went out for flashlight tag again. We told our parents constantly of the creature who kidnapped our friend. But they thought we were just telling lies, that we were just young kids with figments of our imagination. But we know what we saw. I know what I heard. And to this day, I take no pleasure in going out at nighttime And I have a fear of the dark and a full moon. And anytime I hear whistles or scratches, or even if the wind blows just right near my window, I think about my friend. And I think about the Wolfman of HERRIN, Illinois, and how many children he slaughtered and taken. And nobody, and I mean nobody, has done anything about it since or till now. I still hear stories from my brother, who's younger than me, who has friends that were my age, and they speak upon the history of the area where we grew up. And one day my brother came to me and asked, "Hey, Mikey, this seems weird, but I have a few questions. Have you ever seen a tall, hairy creature with bright yellow eyes in the middle of the night near our old house? We haven't seen our friend in about a few days. And you've seen a lot of this area in southern Illinois. We were just wondering if you could help us find him. Because we didn't want to go to Mom and Dad. We knew they wouldn't believe us. You and your friends were the only open-minded individuals we could think of. So please, help us find our friend." This wasn't that long ago. Just 10 years ago, my brother told me this. And even now, there's stories of in the same area of young men and women going missing, and people look past it. Well, I warn you, people of southern Illinois, and the citizens of HERRIN, Illinois, don't walk the streets late at night. Because whatever it is out there is hungry. And it's aggressive. And it's smart. And it wants you. Stay safe, my friends. Subscribe and become a friend of fear today for more Chronicles from Underneath the Moon.